The mayors here today each lead so-called sanctuary cities. And let's be clear, these policies only create sanctuary for criminals. Sanctuary policies violate federal immigration law by protecting criminal aliens at the expense of the American people. Sanctuary cities and states refuse to cooperate with federal immigration enforcement efforts and harbor illegal aliens. They often actively work to stand in the way of President Trump's mission to protect the American people and restore integrity to the American immigration system and the rule of law.
I'm going to ask you, Art, if you can, just stand by and let's watch this together. Representative Jim Jordan is questioning. This is live. Those four mayors of sanctuary cities.
This bad guy, this gang member who allegedly stole a car, menaced people, and assaulted people, give us a 48-hour heads up. Is that right? That refresh your memory?
I do know about the detainer request. I do know that we provided a notification of release.
What kind of notice did you give ICE when you released him?
We gave him notification. I'm not sure how long in advance it was. I do know that.
1 hour.
I do know that there was
1 hour notice, and you released him 5 days ago, right? Why not give him more heads up? Actually, let's put the slide up. Let's see what it says here. Let's put the slide up. This is what the Denver Sheriff's Department, it's kind of hard to see, so I'll read it. It says, Denver Sheriff Department, ICE notification being released to the streets. I simply said, just release him to us. You release him to the streets. Why not release him to ICE?
Thank you. What we've done, and we do this regularly, we've done 1,226 of these, is we notify ICE.
I'm asking about one. I'm not asking about the 1,200. I'm asking about Mr. Abraham Gonzalez, who's a gang member from Venezuela, stole a car, assaulted someone. You had him in your custody for how long?
I know that we released him.
345 days you had him in custody. And I said, hey, can you give us 48 hours heads up?
I don't know.
You gave him 1 hour notice.
Mr. Congressman, we notified them of release. There were 6 ICE agents present when he was released, so they had enough time to respond and to be present.
Respond where?
To the jail where we released him from. So we released him we notified them of the release time. When we notify them of release, they come to the jail facility to pick them up.
Why didn't you say that's not what you said. You said you released him to the streets. Did you release him to the streets? You release him to ICE?
What we do, sir, is we release him from our county jail, and we coordinate with ICE on that release time and release date so that ICE can come and pick them up from that location.
Pick them up where? In the parking lot?
Yes, sir. They're on the facility property.
Guess what happened in the parking lot?
I know, sir. I've reviewed the video. So I looked at it. I've talked to the sheriff last night.
One of the ICE officers got assaulted, didn't he?
I've reviewed the video,
They had
sir.
to tase the guy, didn't they?
Would you like me to answer, sir?
No, I'd like you to answer. Did they tase him?
I know that there were 6 officers that had multiple tasers. I saw the detention on video. So they had 6
officers. If you keep him in the facility and they come in the facility and get him, does it take 6 officers? Probably takes 2, doesn't it?
So we've been doing these, as I mentioned, 1,226 times. This is the first time I've been made aware of there's been an incident like this. So I reached out to ICE after I saw the video. I've coordinated with their team and offered to sit down and see if there are procedures we can change.
It's a simple
make sure
question.
this works smoothly.
It's a simple question. You can release him in the parking lot, give ICE 1 hour notice, and they got to send 6 officers to arrest this guy. Or you can say, hey, here's what we're going to do. We're going to hold him. You come in and bring 2 officers in, and you turn him over there. Why not do it that way?
We have a city ordinance.
You know why you don't do it that way?
We have a city ordinance that governs.
Because you're a sanctuary city. This is the whole point.
No, sir, I disagree with you.
Oh, okay.
Because I'll tell you why. If you talk about sanctuary as a definition of shielding people from law enforcement, we do not do that. What we do is provide services. In this context, what we did is we coordinated the release.
An officer got assaulted because of your policy, which says we're going to release him to, in your words, not mine, to the streets. They have to arrest him in the parking lot. They bring 6 officers when they could have had 1 or 2 just come in your facility, in the jail, and take the guy there. But you won't do it that way.
I've seen the video. I've reached out to ICE. I've offered to sit down and coordinate on strategies. If we need to make adjustments to what we do on releases, we'll do that. This is the first time in the 1,226 releases I've
look at this right now. This man, the Denver mayor, actually thinks that he can tell Congress, leadership in Congress, that it's okay for 1,226 times he's released people into the parking lot of the jail, not holding them until ICE gets there, and then a cop gets assaulted on the grounds of the jail in the parking lot, not like a year ago, last night. Art Del Cueto, there's no common sense, and this is dangerous stuff that these mayors are playing with. And I don't want to pin that on everybody. Let's just keep it with Mike Johnston, the mayor of Denver.
Well, listen, I happen to be a little familiar with this. You may not know this, but prior to working for the U.S. Border Patrol, I worked for a little over 5 years with the Department of Corrections. So I was involved in many inmate and prisoner exchanges or transfers to other locations. So I know about this. And this is not the way you do it. You detain that individual. There's no way why you wouldn't detain him. It's actually called a page 2. That's what they call it, a page 2 by immigration. It's the second page of their detainer. So then what they would do is ICE officials would show up at the facility. You would have this individual detained. Now, if you don't have him in the cell, you can remove him and put him in a holding cell. While he's in a holding cell, the other agency would show up through the trap door. They would handcuff him, they would remove him, and then they would take custody of him. That's the way you're supposed to do it. That's the way I saw it done, over 20 years ago when I was involved in the Department of Corrections. For these individuals to say that this is proper procedure or they felt comfortable this way, not only are they putting the people at risk, the public, their officers, this is ridiculous.
This is ridiculous and dangerous. By the way, who cares how that mayor feels? Oh, well, I felt comfortable doing this. This isn't about his personal comfort. This is about the protection of American citizens. That's offensive. That's not even sensical. Oh, but it's real, and we are here for it. Art Del Cueto, I thank you for staying with me. Please, we may get back to this right away. We want to take a quick break, but Art, stay with me.